Right, Jimmy, let's just move on to the turf flat season then. You said it runs from when? April through to October,
Yep.
end of October.
Yep.
And we said that there's the round, obviously the round course, and then you've got the straight course. What are the distances over the straight course?
We have straight 7 furlong course. It used to be a mile.
Right.
Sold some land about 10 years ago now, and that, so we now.
So there's a house on it now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So we've now got a round mile, which we've had now for about 8 years now, which is not brilliant. I did like the straight mile. You can't beat a straight mile.
No, like Doncaster.
Yeah. And then so we have a 7, 6, 5 on the straight.
So all the sprints are down the straight.
And then we have a mile and a half, mile and a quarter, and a mile on the round course.
And it's very undulate. I mean, you can see the downhill from the. So they're coming out of the stalls on a downhill, are they?
They do pretty well on all the straight races. Yeah, they come down, but it's a long old slope. You know, it's not sharp.
No.
It's not like Brighton where you're flying down. It is a gradual. Probably you'll bottom out about the 3.5 furlong marker in the dip,
and then they'll start climbing.
Climbing up, which is it is a good test for the horses, you see, because they're on rising ground all the way.
Well, we're talking about the younger horses, and you were saying that 2-year-olds a lot of the big stables send their 2-year-olds here.
Yeah,
is that more for an education, do you think?
I think they do. Like, it's a good education, and it's also it's not many race courses like this that you've got 3 options really. You come up that straight, you've got stand side, centre, and far side, because it's so wide. There's lots of different things they can teach the horses, you know, and they do. You know, the proof's in the pudding. They send them here all the time, constantly.
It's also, I think, the setup of Leicester lends itself to 2-year-olds because they're not having to travel a long way, are they, to the track? They're sort of straight from into the parade ring behind us here, straight onto the course.
We're only an hour and 20 minutes from Newmarket.
No, you're not far away either now.
Know, and the Newmarket, you know, there's ourselves and Great Yarmouth, the closest race courses, and you know, they serve us really well. You know.
Yeah, you do get the top jockeys and trainers here.
Yeah.
Now on the round course, you've got is it the 1 mile 4, 1 mile 2, and then the mile?
Yes.
Say on the round.
Yes.
And there's a small spur at the end of the back straight for that 1 mile 4 start. Or?
No, it's part of this. It's a mile 3/4 round, you see. So this whole circuit, so it fits in there.
It fits in nicely.
Yeah.
And obviously being very undulating, do you think it's quite a test for a horse round?
It is a test. They start off rising on the 1.5 miles to the top of the hill, and then they drop down into the dip, and they rise round the bend.
Yeah.
So it's a good, really well balanced horse.
And then there's this swing into the home straight. That's a good long home
straight.
Yeah,
it's nearly 5 furlongs of straight as well.
Is it? Yeah.
So it is. It's a good test.
So how do races tend to pan out here then? Do you think the jockeys sort of they don't need to rush to get in position?
They tend to just they'll sit in. As long as they're not too far behind, and they'll make a move then as they hit the straight. There's plenty of time for them to sort themselves out.
Yeah. So you'd say there isn't that much draw dependence really?
No, not really. No.
Just when we discussed about conditions though, maybe when it's softer they'll try to come down the stands rail just to give a bit of...
Possibly. There used to be a terrible bias at Leicester years ago, because the old pop-up irrigation system would only water the edges. So you would get to July and
really
August,
fast strip.
and it'd be really quick up the middle.
Yeah.
That's all changed now. We've developed a new irrigation system now, which.
Although funnily enough, you do see them come down the middle a lot, don't you? So
we do. You do.
Maybe the jockeys are still in the habit of thinking.
Funny enough, when you're at the top of the race course and you look through the stands, you say it is a straight, but it's like a banana shape. So the shortest route in theory is the centre,
straight up the middle.
But I don't believe there is a bias here. You know, I'm pretty confident. Yeah, when we do our going stick readings and my going reports, I do a zigzag shape all the way up the track. So we don't just tend to walk in one area. So it's a fair average.
And we talked about the top jockeys, and I think if you look at the top 5, you'd say it is the big jockeys that do well here, isn't it? The Richard Hughes, Ryan Moore, Kieran Fallon, people like that.
The big jockeys do well because the big jockeys get the best horses.
And the best trainers are sending it here.
That's right. That's what happens. You know.
And we talked about other courses that you think Leicester's very similar to, and you had an interesting view on Ascot.
Yes, I do. Look back in the records again, and you'll see lots of horses come from Leicester to Ascot. It's a very similar shape track. Their straight is slightly shorter than ours. I think they hit it about 3 furlongs. So it's slightly longer off the bend, but very similar really, and they seem to, when they do well here, they do tend to go on well in Royal Ascot.
So early in the season, like May, you'd see them getting preparation for
quite
for
often
the Royal
you'll
meeting.
You'll see them. Yeah, you'll see our winners will go on to Ascot then and be very successful.
Do well there. Yeah. That's brilliant. We'll move on to the jumps next, if that's all right, Jimmy.
Yeah.